Excuse me, sir. Telephone.
Such a knowledge of history, and you're so interested in so many different things that like it layers your comedy in a really cool way.
Thanks.
It's good. It's like that George Washington thing. I don't want to say anything because it's so good. I don't want to say. I don't want to fuck it up, but it's so good. I love that bit.
Thanks.
And it's also historically accurate. It's fucking fun. It's fun
shocking.
because it's like it's engaging me and it's entertaining me.
Yeah.
Like it's engaging me. It's interesting. And it's also very funny.
It never worked, and I remember it in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, where like one of the open mics where I started, Amish country. There was a joke I always used to try, and the guy who was running the mic would always be like, "Dude, do it, do the Civil War joke." It never worked. It was just about dudes walking to shoot each other. Like you had to walk. It was something about like you know how racist you had to be like. Be in the South and wake up one day and be like, wait, they freed who? What the fuck? I'm going up there. And then walking the whole way. You had to sleep at night and wake up and go like, son of a bitch. And they walked from Alabama to Maryland and you got shot in the head right away.
Who had that great joke about that? You know, where they'll tell you the Civil War wasn't about slavery. It was about economics. Like, yeah, you didn't want to pay the help.
Yeah.
Whose joke is that?
I don't know.
Somebody has that joke.
I don't know. People try to act like the Civil War wasn't.
Is it Bill Maher?
Maybe.
It might be Bill Maher. It's someone good.
But I always wanted to do a joke about because the brigade, like your company, whatever your group was, because they were all from the same town.
Yeah.
So your division or fucking your brigade would be from your town. All right. So you never left your town. So your brigade back then was everybody you grew up with, every dude, your son, your brother, your uncle, and your dad. You're all fucking together. And you're marching shoulder to shoulder. And you watch your fucking dad get his head ripped off by a cannonball. You just got to keep being like, oh, fuck.
Oh,
yeah,
fuck.
Yeah.
A cannonball hit your dad in the head.
You knew who was getting shot.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
Can you fucking
I don't know why that's funny.
Imagine.
Yeah.
How about the trench warfare of World War I?
Started in Civil War. Siege of Vicksburg, I think.
That's when they started trench
They
warfare?
started, they say the Civil War in America was like the first modern war. This is the revolutionary dudes just getting
so
pumped.
horrible. Look at this, walking towards each other, like the stupidest way to do it ever. Can you imagine that people did this for some... Oh, God! Oh, God! Hit in the face with a cannonball.
Now the Patriots roughly based off of I think his name is Francis Marion, the Swamp Fox, and he was kind of an originator of guerrilla warfare because they were like we can't stand and fight the British.
God damn.
We're gonna have to shoot them and run, which is pretty funny.
How crazy are the British? Just gonna come over here and start marching.
Yeah, we're gonna walk right at you.
Big white stripe on your chest.
Red jackets.
It's 100% a target.
Yeah.
Red and white is what you use for archery targets.
Yeah. They had to change. They had to
It's
change.
so dumb.
Once rifling took over, they had to be like, all right, we got to switch our uniforms.
Isn't that amazing, though, that you had to think of how much the British Army conquered in the world.
Everybody.
Like, everybody. And imagine that their decision to fight was this way. Like, how? How did you get from, like, the Mongols to that? How does that happen in 1,000 years?
I guess
the Mongols had all these crazy tactics. They would starve people out, lock them in their cities.
Yeah.
They would wait them out slowly.
You get artillery and guns, you can just, especially
This is crazy.
That's just running it down your throat, dude. It's like we're gonna walk at you.
But I just can't imagine that someone wouldn't say, "Hey, isn't there a fucking better way to fight these people?
Yeah, like
what are we doing?
Let's get behind a tree and then shoot them."
I can't even watch this, dude. I can't believe people did that. That's what's so crazy. It's like, how did they survive to become that silly? Like, that's a silly way to fight a war, right? So how did they survive with those strategies? How were they dominant with those strategies?
Because they're the only ones with, well, most of them are colonies, where the other guys they have fucking cowhide shields and spears, like the Zulu.
And so they were the only ones with muskets?
Yeah, you have fucking guns. You're going to win. You're the only ones with guns.
So the British were the only ones with guns?
Well, when it came to like their colonies, in a land war, they would lose a lot to like France, Prussia, those like major continental powers. But England always had a navy. They always dominated through naval warfare, and then they had to team up with everyone to stop Napoleon.
Dude, once they started shooting cannonballs off boats,
That's a problem.
that must have been the game changer.
Huge problem.
When did they start doing that? When they start doing cannonballs from boats? Because that is a motherfucker.
Yeah.
You got a cannon on a boat?
Shooting at people without cannons?
Boom!
Yeah, you just do this all day.
How
Right
many
here.
times did they have to shoot that cannon before they figured out how hard they have to bolt it into the floor?
A lot. That thing shot out the other side of the boat.
You got a floating
Yeah.
wooden thing with this giant iron tube on it that has explosions go off on it.
And just 4 poor guys from Manchester operating it.
The French. The
French?
French are fucking dickheads.
Dude. Brutal.
They were dickheads.
So they dragged us in. They
They absolutely dragged us in.
hid the Well, letters. they dragged us in, but we wanted into. I mean, we could have left. We could have left 10. We could have left. I mean, I read this book, A Bright Shining Light. I just happened to be reading it. By the way, whenever you read a book, especially on Kindle, try to find out how many pages it is. First. Oh, yeah. This book's 800 pages. Fuck. So I was reading it like, oh, this is A Bright Shining Light. It doesn't sound like a long book. Yeah. It's the history of everything. But France, they left. We helped them. So there was what turned Ho Chi Minh. One of the things that turned him is we supplied France with all the mortars and everything where they destroyed a lot of it in Vietnam, and that turned
Yeah.
them against America too. Ho
Yeah.
Chi Minh, yeah.
It was there was a battle. I forget the name of it. So I was just
Dien
watching
Bien
Ken
Phu?
Burns on it. What is it?
Dien Bien Phu.
Yes. So the French were kind of fucking up the Vietnamese. I mean, it was the same as us versus them. They had
Yeah.
superior firepower, but again, just like time and time again, the Vietnamese were very good at guerrilla warfare because we trained them during World War II.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a little, mujahideen type shit.
Yeah.
And they were about to come to talks. France and Vietnam, they were about to come to the table. Before they went to have talks, they both tried to get one more offensive in, so they had leverage when they went to talks.
Nice.
So France sets up at what's it,
Dien Bien Phu, yeah.
They just put themselves at the bottom of this valley, and they're like, "We're just going to build an airfield here. We're going to fuck them up." One of the French generals was like, "I have too many guns. We're going to fuck these dudes up."
Damn.
And the Vietnamese surrounded them in this valley and just destroyed them. The French guy, the general that led that, killed himself honorably because he was like, "We're going to wipe the floor with these guys."
Why'd they
Then
go
he-
in a valley? Isn't that a bad? I'm not a military
it was
tactician, but
a
isn't that
bad
like
call.
not the good idea?
Yeah, it was a
Bad
bad
lead
idea.
to burning witches. Like
Of
that's
course.
just what it is.
It's just like actually takes us to the Comanches quite a bit,
Let's take
and the
let's
indigenous
get
people.
there. Venetia wants us to get there quickly.
When people try to act like they were, like the revisionist history, like the quick history we have of Native Americans is that they were like one with nature and peaceful,
right.
and it's like it's actually borderline racist where you're taking away the agency of them. Like,
Right.
they were people.
Right.
They were shitty.
Right.
They were just as shitty.
Right.
So
They had issue, yeah. Because I think like most people don't know because you read this book, but like most people think, I think like America, the United States came in, ripped these good, nature-loving Native Americans from their land, put them on reservations, and we owe them everything. Like we are horrible, so horrible to them, which I'm sure is all true. I know that. That is all true.
Yeah.
But the problem is that the Comanches, is it just one tribe of the Native Americans? The Comanches were bad, or like
No,
did you
no,
learn
no.
that like a bunch of them?
yeah,
Yeah,
there's a ton. There was so many tribes, and
Right.
they were like the Comanche when they not started, but like the early records of the Comanche were like they were kind of up in like the Rockies, and they were little tiny guys. That's
Okay.
another thing.
squeaks. We call
They
them
were.
on the show. They were
all
squeaks.
like yeah, because we have this version of Native Americans that are like the northeastern, the woodland tribes where they're
Right.
all like avatars,
right.
like long and
That's-
sinuous, how do I say that word?
I don't know. I've never heard of it.
Cinnabon?
Cinnabon?
Sinewy?
Cinnamony?
Long avatar people.
Long Avatar people.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then you head out west and they were much more like Mexicans.
Right. Just
know,
little squeaks.
little
but
tiny guys.
But those were the Comanches were the squeaks?
The Comanches were the squeaks.
But they were fucking...
and they sucked
for a while, and then when the Spanish came over, brought the horses, and then the horses would start to escape and get out, and certain tribes didn't know what to do. Like the Apache were just eating the horses.
Really?
They weren't sure how to. Like, these things are good. We're gonna keep munching these.
Yeah.
And then the Comanches started riding them and
Right.
got like incredible at it. And then so for like centuries they were the lowest on the pecking order, and they would get fucked up
The
by
Comanches.
everybody. Yeah, the Comanches would get rocked by everybody, and then they got horses and just they got revenge, dude. They Columbined out.
Right.
All the people that were picking on them
Got
paid
fucked.
for it.
They got it. They got it hard. Wow, dude.
Yeah.
So, but did they kill? Did the Comanches kill a lot of like U.S. soldiers too? Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Here, fight. Okay, fights between tribes, the Comanches and the other tribes, were meant to raise horror and fear, not necessarily kill.
Okay.
But they were very violent. They would kill, torture, rape, mutilate bodies, and kill children too.
Yeah.
That was Civil War stuff. That was tribe on tribe.
Well, that wouldn't be.
Veneti, that was the United States. So they would do that. So the Comanches would come in and raid settlers,
Yes.
U.S. settlers. And listen, there's kind of a school, like, I understand. It's like if somebody just moved in to my apartment and threw me out, I'd be fucking pissed. Would I mutilate their children? I don't know. I'd probably just call a lawyer first. But like, you know,
Yeah,
like,
you'd call a Trump supporter.
yeah.
One of those protesting.
Dude,
Trump
my
guys.
lawyer's Jeff Cohen. He's Chunk from the Goonies. I would just call Chunk from the Goonies. I'm like, dude, you got to truffle shuffle your ass over here and fucking get these native Comanches out of my apartment.
But no, the Indians were doing that to each other. Now they did apparently take it easy on each other sometimes because they both had this like understanding of we're low on dudes, can't be killing each other like this.
Right.
But they still, I mean, the Comanches were destroyed. I mean, certain tribes were cannibals. They would eat each other.
Really?
They were fucking wild, dude.
They were wild
Yes.
dudes. Yeah.
Yes.
We're no
So you
different.
could.
Yeah.
World War II.
Right.
Now we've been chilling for a while.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden there's some.
Well, how long did we chill for? Up to Vietnam.
That barely counts
What?
compared to World War II.
Right. But
there's like a
completely unnecessary, whereas
Totally
World War
unnecessary.
II was necessary.
because of an unnecessary start.
What was the unnecessary start of World War II?
Hitler taking everything.
Yeah, but like a lot of it is based on what happened in World War One,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So World War
One and two are pretty. They're everything in history is interlinked.
yeah, and there's
obviously.
not that much time in between them either.
Yeah.
So there's like a
There's nothing.
regrouping of Germany, and we'll fucking show you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
What was
this
World
is-
War One over?
That's the ultimate dumbest fucking one ever.
What is it over?
Archduke Franz Ferdinand got assassinated in Serbia,
That's right.
and then
And
Serbia.
the guy Lucky ran into
Yeah,
him
yeah,
outside
yeah.
of a restaurant.
Yeah.
I tried to kill him, didn't. Then his car was parked outside of a restaurant. He's like, "Oh,
Yeah, there he is.
there he is."
Yeah. And then their ally was Serbia's ally was Russia. Austria's ally was Germany. Germany was like, we're going to help Austria. That's why they got blamed.
Wow. And then the whole world.
And then the whole world, which they were all cousins,
Why'd they assassinate that dude?
because Austria and Serbia, I guess, had a pretty long history of fighting each other. And he was in Serbia, Montenegro, was it? And it was kind of like flaunting it a little.
Oh,
It was kind of like, you shouldn't be here.
like
Although,
when Nancy Pelosi went to Taiwan.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was just like, I can
What?
handle it. Yeah.
What you gonna do, China?
I could be wrong though. I think it was like Franz Ferdinand was actually like one of the guys in Austria that liked Serbia, and he was one of the guys like helping it. He was like an advocate for it. And then the Black Hand, and I'm forgetting his fucking name. He's very important. The guy who shot him.
Oh, I don't remember his name either.
It's embarrassing. I don't remember it. And I hope it's Serbia. I just am talking.
I think it
Yeah,
is.
he was from the Kingdom of Serbia. This isn't the thing I was looking at. Didn't have his name. This doesn't either.
So
bummed.
what happens in Germany during World War One?
So World War One was over nothing. They fought. Everybody died. Like millions of people died.
Yeah.
Over, and a lot of times it's just trench warfare where they, over the course of 4 or 5 years, they gained nothing, lost nothing. So at the end of the war, like when France and Germany and England had to sign this treaty, they were like the allies that won were like, oh, we gotta we got to gain something out of this because otherwise our people are going to kill us. When we signed this treaty and neither of us, nothing changed, and that was all for literally for nothing. So then they just blamed Germany for everything. They were like, you owe France reparations. Gavrilo Princip. God, so good.
He was 19 years old.
Fucked up the whole world. Wow. Good job, Gavrilo.
One teenager.